She's a pretty girl. She's just jumped down to join us. Oh, darling, come. No butts in the picture. No butts in the picture. I like that. We can say but quite a lot, can't we? But, you know, I would love to do that, but no buts in the picture. Is it morning still? I think, I don't know. No, it isn't. It's 12:21 because I've typed up like midday live with Lucy. I was out in the garden. It was lovely and sunny. And then the neighbours, the children and the mum came out and were in the garden. And their fence was, well, I think it's their like gate, just kept banging and they were shouting. They shout quite a bit. How they talk, they're just quite loud. I don't know what they're saying because I don't know or speak the language that they speak. I speak the language of love. Okay. So we've come in. They've gone in as well. Typical, we would say. But then we wouldn't have Tia Lulu in the picture, would we? No. So we was going to do a nice reading outside. Oh my goodness. Have we got any tissue? You've like sneezed all over like the mouse. Sneezed over the mouse? Mouse mat. Darling, I'd rather you kind of stay this side if you could. That would be really great. Then we have no butts in the picture. Right, I'll clean that up. Okay, don't tell Emily. I won't tell Emily. Your secret's safe with me. Right, do you think we best use a coaster though? Otherwise, I'm not going anywhere. Hold on a second. Tia. Let's maybe pull some cards and then we can maybe direct her away from... Let's go to the affirmators first. I took all these cards out into the garden. Dropped these on the way with this slid out. So all the cards are on the floor. Don't take things personally, or I think that's one of them. That was in reverse. So we won't take things personally. If you take things personally, then you're a little bit like sensitive. I was feeling as if like picking up on things I'm saying and taking them the wrong way. Okay. Oh, I'm feeling the energy now. Well, I'm actually hearing like the words, but you said. It's like, let's say regardless of what I've said. So I don't know if this is a changing of opinion, a changing of mind, things that we say. I mean, I've met, especially recently, people that have been quite adamant about, you know, staying single, not wanting love, just their opinions on the world. And I've been like listening to all this and thinking that's interesting because it's kind of like the opposite to how I see things or how I think things should be run, should we say that? Or what's ruling over us. So a lot of judgment. I've noticed, like, speaking to people, some individuals, they seem to always kind of been, like, pointing out others and what I would say would be taking the mickey. So laughing at them, ridiculing them. And, well, it's not like a really nice trait, but you can be around people when you kind of listen to them doing it and judgments. I'm not sure where this reading's going. Hey, little one. Are you staying in the room with us? She's itching her head. She's going to have a think. Let's see what the affirmators want to say anyway. Did I say good morning? It's not morning, but good afternoon, good morning. I feel like saying good morning. There is a voice of inspiration within me. Oh, this was one of the cards that I could see on the floor because I recognise this part. I definitely saw the don't take things personally in reverse. Let me just let the pussycat out. Oh my goodness. Okay. I've just kicked over a bottle of water on the floor, nearly tripped over it, pushed the door closed, and anyway, she's gone. Okay, I'm not sure what that's about. There is a voice of inspiration within me. Right now it's only a whisper, but the more I listen, the louder it will get. Soon it will be a flawless speech voiced by James L. Jones through a megaphone with lots of applause. Thank you, thank you. Well put, well said. What's coming through is maybe words are coming through. So words, there is a card somewhere that says like you might be coming up with words that you have not created or you have created, but I think they're of your own volition, but I'm not actually sure what that word means or if I'm even pronouncing it correctly, if I'm truthful. But that's what the card says, but you get the idea, don't you? That you're speaking things. I remember back in the day, I think just definitely when I started personally developing, so we're talking 10 years ago, I would be having conversations like with my friends, like my girlfriends, and they'd be like, well, one in particular would say to me, where does this like stuff come from? I said, I don't really know. I said, but it sounds good, doesn't it? So like it even resonates with myself. It's like chatting with myself, talking things over. So there is a voice of inspiration within me. Right now it's only a whisper, but the more I listen, the louder it will get. Soon it'll be a flawless speech voiced by James L. Jones through a megaphone with lots of applause. So I was listening to Think and Grow Rich today. I was finishing off the second disc because that's the one I wanted to try because I thought that was a damaged one. Disc 1's fine. So I've kind of jumped to disc 2. We jump in discs here. And I've just finished. Well, I think I've just finished. I'm very near the end. We're on the last principle for success. I think that's key to success. I don't know, still not implanted in there. But as I'm re-listening to it, oh my goodness, it's just resonating more and more. So I'm listening really carefully now to what's being said. We're like fine-tuning the skills. Okay. And I do love his voice, listening. And the audio I've got, I do like Joe Slattery, I think is the gentleman's name, who reads Think and Grow Rich on audio. But there's snippets of Napoleon Hill that comes in. And I don't know, I just feel it's just such a masculine gentleman voice. And yeah, he's my favourite. I like listening to Napoleon Hill. Inspiration. Get centered. When it gets to be too much, this is interesting because I've got everything set up for the reading, okay, outside. And I've got my cards down, I've got my coffee. It was so hot, even took my jacket off. So we're sitting there, and then the noise starts. And it's like, okay, so 12 o'clock goes, because it was 12 o'clock on the dot. But okay, we're just going to, like, prolong this for a bit longer. There's always a reason for it. And then it became quite noisy, and then this gate just kept banging and banging. And so I put my headphones on, and I put on some music. And I was just, I was listening to Into the Groove. There you go, Get Into the Groove, Madonna. The dub mix. On the album, You Can Dance. You can find it, they're great mixes on that album of Madonna's. You Can Dance. Check it out on YouTube. Okay. So I was right at the end again, because I chose Into the Groove. So I'm just kind of like, yeah, in my own little zone. And where it did go through my mind very quickly about how that kind of energy I would have found frustrating. It's like, oh, I've just got all this set up, and now what am I going to do? And do I do it? And will they go away? And should I go indoors? And the fairies I felt were very much with us. So that's why I wanted to do a reading outside. So I got centred. And it's just like, we're going to go in. Because actually a cloud came over and I got a bit chilly. And I thought, thank you. Because maybe, you know, it's not going to be the perfect weather. Is that weather with a H? Anyway. Get centred. When it gets to be too much, whatever it is, I close my eyes and return to my centre. In my centre, I have the wisdom and tranquility of, you've got to put your favourite animal in. I always put the unicorn in there. Holding a magical item, I always put a magic wand in there. And floating through space on it says piece of furniture. But my mind just always takes me to an ironing board. So when it gets to be too much, let's use my example. When it gets to be too much, however, whatever it is, I close my eyes and return to my centre. In my centre, I have the wisdom and tranquility of a unicorn holding a magic wand, floating through space on an ironing board. Courage is next. Okay, I can also tell you that I've had conversations today that I sensed a lot of fear coming through, like fearful thoughts from the other person. And so that was interesting because it didn't really like unstable me, it didn't get me worrying, but the energy that come through before I came on to do the reading was, hello darling, she's opened the door herself, was you know when somebody says to you, well, someone needs to worry, and it's like, oh, you do that then, because I'm definitely not going to be doing any of that, because I know that that gets me nowhere. And it's like in time you'll realise that that will get you nowhere. That sounded like an aeroplane, even though I think it could have been a fast-moving train. Woo! So changing the thoughts like that, and actually when we ended like the video call, oh, it was just a completely different energy. But the middle section of it, the first section was fantastic because we was talking about signs, synchronization, magic, things just happening, like disappearing, and then being found maybe the next day, like magic's in the air. And then it was interrupted by a phone call, and then there was a section where it was just, what's happened? I actually said, I've just kind of like, what was it I said? I don't know what I said. It began with a C. It wasn't a swear word. It was like, I've just kind of lost all flow of where this conversation's just gone. It was like, everything that you're asking for has just been like manifested to you, and now fears come in, and I don't really, it's like they were we can use this word, this isn't the word I said to them though, because it's like the worst thing to say to someone is that you're just contradicting yourself. But all I could hear was, I'm a bit lost in transmission. Oh, actually it might have been T. You dot the I's, you cross the T's. Maybe you can dot the I's, cross the T's too much. Like really worrying. It's like, where's this coming from? And it's like, I can't help but have these fearful thoughts. And it's like, yeah, but you're still young, that will come with time. But it's like, you know, you can't think that way. And it was like, well, it's not, you can't just tell someone not to think that way. And it's like, no, but it's really important that you don't have them thoughts, because you'll manifest them. You'll manifest your worst fears. And it's like all the things that you're saying, like none of this stuff's even going to happen. They like what you thinking is going to be checked is not going to be checked. Who do you think? Oh, I'm just lost in transmission here. I don't actually know where it went. And then somehow, some way, it was kind of, I was going to say let's bring it back to reality, but it was like, come on, let's just take a step out of what this fear-based society nation puts upon you. It's like, not stop being silly, but, and we turned it back around, which was a nice energy, because I felt when we left the call, I thought, oh no, we've kind of even forgotten about that. In the end, it's like, just leave it with the divine. It's whatever, your fears are yours. Your fears are yours. It's like, they're not mine. I didn't say that, but that is what, it's like, well, someone's got to worry. And it's like, well, okay, if you want to take on that role, you can do that. But I'm not. I'm just going to live in the moment, enjoy the sunshine, enjoy the freedom that I have, enjoy being alive. So we've got courage. No one is fearless. I actually said that as well. I said, you know, I might come across as being all confident, but I have like negative thoughts that still kind of seep in. It's like, why are you thinking that thoughts? I said, so I'm not telling you not to think thoughts. I have them, but you have to like nip them in the bud. You have to kind of stop that train of thought and realise what you're doing. And so no one is fearless. No one. And even though I'm not fearless, I am courageous. When fear shows up, I don't run away from it. I use my courage to conquer it. My courage allows me to walk right up to that fear and kick it in the nuts, then quickly hide behind someone bigger until it goes away. Okay. All I really felt was, this is how I said, I'm just not really understanding, because I just feel that everything that you've asked for has been rearranged. You couldn't do something because of that date, so that date's been changed, but now it's still, well, it's too soon, even though it was just I'm a bit confused. Personal growth. As I move forward, it doesn't say that, it says, as I move towards greater consciousness, I feel old faults, and habits fall away. And this, I suppose this is the part where I managed to bring it back round. It was like actually bringing it back onto myself. Like, I have negative thoughts. I'm like personally developing at the moment. You can't tell someone to personally develop as well and say, well, you need to listen to that. They have to be like inspired to want to be intrigued by different material that can actually really help you. It's like it's all available to us, and most of us look outside, but really we just need to go within. But where am I going with this point? I was just merely taking the focus off of like pointing the finger at them and actually pointing it back to me. And it was like, I still have these negative thoughts. But I said, but with time, it's like you replaced, and this is exactly what Napoleon Hill was speaking about on the audio. So it's kind of, I listened to it and then I had this interaction. And I'm really losing like the plot. What did he bring it back to? I'm sure it'll come back to me. That once you practice using the positive emotions, okay, the negative emotions just naturally fall away, and you find that you no longer have really any negative thoughts. Like, you don't have bad days, you don't get angry. It's like you can't remember the last time that you shouted. There's a bit of an intolerance to noisiness, because it feels like that's a part of you that's kind of fallen away. You just become very tranquil, and you start to realise how like chaotic everything out there is and what they focus on. So as I move towards greater consciousness, I feel old thoughts and habits fall away. Like training wheels on a bike, they helped me get to where I am, but now that I can ride, I don't need those slow and crummy wheels, except when I'm making bike analogies. Peacefulness. Okay, this really does come in. The underlying energy for today is this. So I have a peaceful, tranquil, and untroubled heart. This is where I choose to spend my time. I can bring guests, but any person, thought, or events that brings drama or chaos is not invited. My heart is a special property, and I'm going to keep it that way, so we can all keep enjoying it, and I can get my security deposit back. I don't need a security deposit. Everything is safe and secure. I don't need to protect myself against what unforeseen events. Well, we kind of like, we can see that everything is just perfect if we allow it to be. It's all working out. It's all working out for me. How about you? Right. Should we go to some fairy cards? Let's go to some fairy cards. Let's have some coffee. Oh, my ears are ringing. As I was just thinking in my mind, it feels extremely quiet in the air. Isn't it divine? It's peace and quiet. How many times have you wished for that? Oh, I wish for some peace and quiet. You know, in that peaceful quietness is where you get to find out who you are. Because there's no one around you dictating to you, telling you what to do, putting their opinion in there. It's like when there's no one around to ask, apart from obviously yourself, you get to actually discover who you truly are, not who like others have moulded you to be. You get to spend time with the real you, the true you, and it's nice. Not a lot of people like spending time alone, like being on their own. Many will automatically put the television on, the radio, to block out the silence, the absence. Silly billies, okay? Let's have a look at what the Aries want to say. The Emperor. Use logic and structure to increase your success and get organised. A firm but compassionate leader. A conversation was going through my mind earlier on as I was doing the laundry. And it was like, I was kind of answering back. It's like, I'm not saying that I think that I'm more intelligent than you, but I would say that I'm more intuitive, intuitively tapped in than you. Like at the present time, I'm not saying that you can't, like, but I would never state that I was more intelligent. I think that we all, I don't like to hear, you know, when someone's kind of like shocked because you don't know something. That's kind of like one of those triggering moments for me. Is like, say if I didn't know what like a word meant, it's like, don't like humiliate me, it's like educate me. But they were kind of go, oh, can't believe, or if you haven't watched the movie, I can't believe you watched that movie. It's like, I haven't watched that movie. Do you know how many movies are out there? And I'm sure there's movies that I've watched that you haven't watched. So it's that kind of, that energy is coming through. I'm not saying that I'm more intelligent than you, but I'm tapped into like spirits, where some are just kind of like ignorance. See, I have to be careful with my words, because I felt at the beginning of the reading like you might take what I'm saying to like, you might take it as an offence, and it's not. So use logic and structure to increase your success. And remember that you really don't need to justify yourself to anybody. And that's including me. Like, I have no need to justify myself to anybody. A firm but compassionate leader. And if you actually sit back and listen to people, they would openly like tell you, you just have to put like the fear factor together of what they're actually fearful of, because you can tell by how they talk. So I was going to, what was I going to say? What was one of the fear things that I picked up on earlier? It's like, yeah, but my mind doesn't even want to go there, so let's not go there, because they're silly. They're silly things to like worry about. Okay. So any dream needs love and passion to grow, but it also takes careful thinking and good leadership. Staying organised with a methodical plan can be important to fulfilling your life purpose. It's very easy to get caught up in the excitement of your dreams and then forget the important details. Preparation at the beginning will save you a great deal of time that you can use to bring your plans to life. So I'm looking at this a bit deeper now. So we're talking about manifesting here. So it's very easy to get caught up in the excitement of your dreams. So you get excited, you get caught up in the excitement of your dreams, so they're coming, aren't they? You've put your order in. Okay, they're on their way. They're going to manifest. And then you forget the important details. So don't get scared now. Don't let fear into the equation, the doubts, the buts, but the what if. And now it's come back to me. It was like, okay, so you can actually change, like, what you have in your mind. Like, the perfect plan has been put before you. You're refusing to take it because it's like too soon, or it's just too stressful. You can't see how, like, the divine has sent this in, because it's everything that you asked for. Where else are we going with this? I keep forgetting this statement. So I don't want to talk about it. Well, let's just, it's best to talk it over. It's like, have a listen. Are you like talking sense? Should be talking with your sixth sense. So it's very easy to get caught up in the excitement of your dreams and then forget the important details. See, gone. Preparation at the beginning will save you a great deal of time that you can use to bring your plans to life. It's like change your thoughts. Change the way you feel about it. Anyway, it's changed the way you feel about your thoughts. Like, you have to give them love. They're scared. You have what it takes to be a skillful and sympathetic leader. To communicate your vision, find words that inspire, but also show your heartfelt concern for those around you. Seek out wise counsel from those who have had experience. The globe at the top of the Emperor's staff symbolises that the concerns of the world are his primary focus. And that requires some judgment. However, the heart shows that compassion for others is also a part of his decision-making process. The Emperor stands beneath a rose window, symbolising Christ's 12 disciples and the importance of teamwork, support and leadership. The additional meanings of this card: thinking things through logically, worldly success, relying on intellect, balancing daily concerns with the big picture, father figures, taking responsibility for others. Okay. It's like, stop talking about it. It's not going to stop it. Because it's all about, like, how you actually feel about the situation. The Prince of Summer: romantic, captivating, dramatic and flirtatious. I like this energy. Okay, so your manifestations are coming in and then you're getting scared. But it's everything that you asked for. It's all going to plan. You keep coming up with, like, excuses that don't make sense anymore. The buts do not make sense anymore, the excuses. Romantic, captivating, dramatic and flirtatious. The Prince of Summer: falling in love suddenly. Being swept off your feet. The need to stay grounded during a very emotional experience. Falling in love suddenly, I heard. It's like, it's scary. Being swept off your feet. The need to stay grounded during a very emotional experience. I've opened up to the Emperor, look again. Let's go to the Prince of Summer. This charmer may be a prince, but he is truly the king of romance. Utterly in love with love. He can zoom in and have your heart fluttering in the blink of an eye. He is refined, artistic and introspective, as well as dreamy and possibly a bit melodramatic. A hopeless flirt, he will read you poetry while looking deep into your eyes. In his heart, he really is generous and quite tender-hearted. His focus is on you and you alone until it isn't. So does that sound familiar with the Emperor energy here? His focus is on you and you alone until it isn't. And therein lies the problem. Here's the Prince of Summer, and oh, you'll be so happy for a time. Low battery. And oh, you'll be so happy for a time, maybe forever. It says in brackets, maybe. Just keep in mind that this prince is known for having a wandering eye, and he likes to spread happiness around, so be very cautious. An overgiver, a people pleaser was coming through, so be cautious. The prince rides a magical dandelion under the light of a full moon. The dandelion indicates he can make wishes come true. However, the heart in his hand is made of glass, so handle with care. Additional meanings of this card: falling in love, a love of art and beauty, staying grounded during a very emotional experience, a trusted keeper of secrets. What did I say to T? Did I say something about keeping a secret? I don't know. Oh, I said we won't tell Emily. Okay. What was that about? Not having my cup on the coaster. A heart-shaped coaster. So I can see love in the picture. Hearts. We've got the heart. The heart cart. You can call it that if you like. And then we have the heart here that he's holding. And then I have my love heart coaster. One more card from here? We can get one more card from here. Eight of Autumn. Do more research before proceeding. Education in the form of seminars, going back to school, or apprenticeships. Excellent craftsmanship and long-term projects. It's like this is a long-term project. This is like, we can say training because we spoke about training wheels. About you becoming. About you learning how to be. It's like learning how to be in this world to benefit bestly. Lots of bees there. I've seen two big bumblebees, queen bees, they tell me every time they go past, over the last few days. I was going to shuffle the book. Let's go to the Eight of Autumn. Shuffling the books. There's lots of books that you could read, study, personally develop is the key, really. And no one can do that for you. Learn everything you can. It may be time to return to school or get some training in the skills you seek. What did I say at the beginning about fine-tuning, like, your skills? I think I've done that. This could involve taking seminars, furthering your professional development, or even going back to college. Perhaps you'll gain skills as an apprentice or provide instruction as a mentor. If you'd like to change careers, now is the time. The energy that you put into your job is recognised and appreciated by everyone, including the fairies. The law of attraction returns your energy to you in the form of prosperity, abundance, and advancement. A little girl fairy learns a trade from her grandmother, who is also her mentor. She is careful to write down everything her teacher has to say. That's a wise little girl there. Additional meanings of this card. Education, excellent. Excellent craftsmanship, being paid well for high quality work, long-term projects, work that represents who you are, and doing research. This is a good reading, isn't it? It's a bit different. It is a bit different. Once you get into personal development, you understand it's a bit different. You're hearing stuff that you've never heard before, and then you find yourself saying stuff that you've never said before. Let's get to a message from the Journey of Love. You're best not to question any of it, just go with it. It will have meaning for who it's meant to have meaning for. Okay. Where are we on the Journey of Love? Spiral dance of the goddess. You can dance for inspiration. Come on, come on. I'm waiting. Got to get into the groove. 29. Only when I'm dancing can I feel this free. From a point of light unfolding, we become a soul, then incarnate into a sacred body, and our lives become a work of divine art, a speck of heavenly presence, manifesting itself through dimensions of time and space, and into a life on earth made manifest. The extraordinary fact of your existence is a divine happening. As though the light of the moon is dancing not only upon the water, but instead of it, but instead of it. Lucy, pay attention. Okay. When I picked up this deck of cards, the energy shifted. Hi, Angie. Talk to me. Hi, Lucy. I love it when you sing Madonna lyrics. I love Madonna. I could sing Madonna lyrics. Maybe all day. Maybe not all day. But I've got two sisters older than me, and one of them was particularly a Madonna fan. So we would like have little competitions, quizzes. I don't know, competitions, I think. Like we would say, right, write down all the Madonna songs that you know. Because we'd have the albums and we play them all the time. So like You Can Dance is a really good album. So you go through, like, you know, the list of the soundtracks, just the tracks. And yeah, and you kind of know the remixes, and you just, yeah. So Madonna, love Madonna. I kind of, to be honest with you, I suppose, come away from like listening to Madonna maybe after, I would say maybe Erotica. I kind of stopped listening to like her stuff past that. Obviously, I know that, I think Music probably came out after that. That was quite a good one. But she does, you've got to give it to her. She does kind of like change things up, doesn't she? Anyway, I love her music, especially like the 80s, 90s. Borderline, feels like I'm going to lose my mind. What are we doing? You just keep on pushing my love over the borderline. Okay, so let's carry on reading this. As though the light of the moon is dancing not only upon the water but inside of it, your ancient light is dripping into the mud of the earth. This is how the soul becomes a divine human in the making. As you sense yourself moving and shifting from light to dark and back again, from knowing to unknowing, you are weaving your consciousness, your divinity, into sacred expression, manifesting your soul essence into the form of your life. Threading the light through the darkness without even realizing you are doing it, you are gently impregnating the matter of your body, of your life. Where's my lyrics gone? Where have the comments gone? Hello, Spotty Pony, darling. I wanted to finish that kind of part before, because halfway through that, I was thinking, oh, I need to say hello. Hello. Your body and your life become luminous, radiant, and you assist others, even just through your presence. It sounds wonderful, and it is, yet it is not always an easy path. As the light travels through darkness, pain and suffering can arise in waves. It's best to be present to it, trust that it is not a permanent condition, and wait for the spiral to twist from dark to light again, always moving closer and closer to the purity of the centre and expanding outward eternally, as though you are being inhaled by the divine, filling cosmic lungs as they reach far and wide, taking in all of life. Okay. The message of this oracle to you is that you are growing, you are bringing more of your light into form. You may be meeting obstacles in yourself and in the world, but this is because you are bringing through the light. If there were nothing happening, there would be no obstacle. Bless them as signs that you are proceeding, and empower them no more. You shall be. All else is just divine timing. Okay, the poem. The inner movement in expressive flow, an outward breath of dance and light, becoming one, becoming free. Free to do what you want any old time. Okay, I've got some unicorns here. I looked up and it was 40 minutes. Oh, it's 40:04 then. 4004. Let's see what the unicorn wants to say. On this beautiful day, Imagine. What would you see, feel, think and hear if your wish came true? But don't do that and then get scared when it's delivered. So I feel you need to maybe, it feels like the energy of practicing to receive what you've asked for, knowing that you are worth it. Oh my goodness, I had such a conversation with a lady who purchased a lottery ticket yesterday and then told me that she wouldn't be lucky enough to win it anyway. And I'm just like, why are you saying that? And I said, well, the question is, how would you spend the money? I said, if you were to win it. And she looked at me and she said, I'd be able to go and visit my family in New Zealand, who I haven't seen for years. I said, how amazing would that be? And she had told me that she had to have given up drinking for a medical reason. Oh, she wasn't going to buy the lottery ticket because she felt that, this was her words, oh, I don't know if to have a lottery ticket. Okay, I'll have a lottery ticket, but I don't really feel that I'm worth it. And I'm like, what are you talking about? What do you mean you're not worth a lottery ticket? So, or the money that comes with it, I don't actually, like, worth winning it. So, I left her dreaming. I said that would be so nice, wouldn't it? Because then I spoke about her. She said, but I've had to give up drinking. And so when I treat myself, she says, you know, I like really treat myself. I said, that's really good. I said, what's the point in living otherwise? We're here to enjoy our lives. So once we'd had the discussion that, well, if she was lucky enough and to have like a big winning, how would you spend it? She hadn't even thought about that part. I said, if you don't know what you're going to be spending the money on, then there's no point you having the money, is there? Now she could go travelling. I said to her, you could stay in hotels and eat at really nice fancy restaurants like every day. Well, imagine. Oh, that's the life. It is. It's like kind of what, when you kind of like relax and you're in a situation or an environment, you go, oh, this is the life. This is life. Imagine. When you imagine your dream coming true, what was coming through was imagine all the people, like so less stressed. That would be so nice, wouldn't it? If everyone just chilled out, calm down, go with the flow, interact like more like lovingly. When you imagine your dream coming true, you help make it happen. This card asks you to think of a wish that you really want and imagine that it has come true. Next, close your eyes and notice how your body feels while you think about your wish. How do you feel? Excited, happy, nervous, or some other way? Do you feel tingles anywhere in your body? What else do you feel? Now notice what you see when you imagine your wish coming true. What people, colours, and things do you see? What do you see yourself doing as your wish comes true? What else do you see? Then listen for any words that you hear in your mind. What do you hear? What do you think it means? At this point, focus on your thoughts as you think about your dream. Do you have any ideas? Anything else that you think? So when you imagine your dream coming true and notice all your feelings, thoughts, words, and visions, you help make it happen. This is the power of the human imagination. It's sometimes called faith. You may be surprised when your wish comes true in a better way than you think. Let yourself see all sorts of wonderful dreams and wishes and have faith that they'll come true. And have faith that they'll come true in ways beyond your greatest imagination. We're down to 10% on the battery. We need to absorb this, recharge, we'll regroup. It's a good message. Think and grow rich. So I said I was on like the last part, which is faith. Because unless you've got the other keys mastered, then you wouldn't have developed and be able to apply that faith, you know, to manifest whatever it is that your heart desires. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Doesn't say you will achieve it, it says you can achieve. Okay. Should we finish with a final message? We've got 10%, we can push it. Well, I was drawn to the Sacred Spirit reading cards, but I feel like I want to read from a book as well. So underneath it was the Vortex. We'll read from the Vortex first. Let's read into your Vortex. What's in there? All your dreams, your wishes, your desires. Get into it. Oh, okay, yeah, I know to go on the back. Okay. Why do siblings respond differently to similar influences? Jerry, I've noticed that even though siblings are from the same set of parents, often they do not grow up as carbon copies of one another. In other words, one child can grow up to be healthy and happy, and what I call a successful being, while a brother or a sister out of the same family can experience a very painful life. Does that mean that parental influence, which is similar with each child, is not a significant factor in how children turn out? Abraham, it is not possible to maintain the consistent success that you refer to as happiness without a conscious striving for alignment with your broader non-physical being. Sometimes a parent or teacher can be a catalyst for influencing you in that direction, and everyone is born wanting to feel good and has natural instinctual tendencies towards finding that alignment. It is the influence that hinders that natural alignment that is really at the centre of this discussion. Because children naturally gravitate to feeling good and to their alignment with source. In other words, if left to their own natural instincts, children would make their way more quickly into alignment. By well-meaning, guarded parents often stifle those natural impulses by worrying about what could happen and by influencing their children away from their own guidance system. Contrary to what most parents believe, the less concern they feel for the welfare of their child, the better off their child will be. Because in the absence of the negative speculation and worry, the child is more likely to gravitate to his own alignment. And so, getting back to the specifics of your question, often the first child born to well-meaning but overprotective parents is the object of more fussing and worrying and negative influence than the children born later. I'm the baby. There are many factors that influence the way children or people in general feel, but there is also one factor of importance to consider. Does the thought being offered by this person in this moment harmonise with the thought of the source within? That is the influence you want to tune into. Let me repeat that. Does the thought being offered by this person in this moment harmonise with the thought of the source within? That is the influence you want to tune into. All other influences are secondary. Just as a cork, when it is held down underwater, will take the most direct route back to the surface when it is released, when you release the resistance caused by your contradictory to source thoughts, you will return to clarity, happiness, success, and the knowledge of your source. So it gets so interesting. Like, must children take after their parents? Jerry, my mother used to say to me, well, Jerry, you know, you take after your daddy, or you take after my father, or your uncle. And I remember feeling strong disagreement with her. Abraham, why do you think you disagreed? Jerry, I didn't necessarily think I took after anyone, but also it seems like when she was pointing that sort of thing out to me, it was usually because she was expressing disapproval of me at the time. Abraham, that's really what we wanted you to realise. The discord you felt was because your mother's disapproving opinion activated within you a thought that was in complete disagreement with your inner being. In other words, as your mother was pointing out some flaw in you and likening it to some flaw in someone else, in a sense trying to control you by threatening you with the prospect of an unhappy outcome, your inner being was offering a very different opinion of you to you, and your negative emotion was the indication of the disparity. This is how your guidance system works. Whenever you feel negative emotion, it means that your active thought, no matter how you came upon it, does not match what your inner being knows about the subject. Okay, let's finish with a, it's like my root chakra's itchy, the base of my spine. Let's get the cards out. The energy of like growing a spine. It's like you can't even say that comment maybe without it being taken like offensively. Channel your knowledge. Card number 8, critical judgment. Are we touching on something here? I believe we might be. Well, I think we are. I feel we are. Clear expectations, critical judgment. Automatic writing is a safe and powerful process of channeling spirit directly into writing. Like any sense of intuitive skill, it can be sharpened and improved with time and practice. More importantly, anyone can learn this skill. Without the active conscious self, the mind becomes free to instruct and navigate the individual. Automatic writing enables a channel to access higher states of consciousness and awareness. Innovation and creation is a byproduct of channeling in this way. Leonardo da Vinci, Isaac Newton, and Albert Einstein were consistently inspired by the form of thought from pen to paper. Hello, my beautiful one. Hello. Are you going out? Are you? Okay. Are you going out like soon? Going to the lake. That would be nice. You know, I had the vision of doing that myself, and you're doing it. That's awesome. I had that yesterday. I had a vision of like a colleague being in a certain area where he's not normally, and then when I went into work, he was like in that area working, like the vision that I had seen. I like the lake. I like the lake as well. Have a lovely walk. Are you walking? Yeah. Why don't you fly? Fly. I've got to get cracking on this because I've already pressed the 10%. I'll probably catch you before you go. I'll be like literally 2 minutes, Emily. Okay, let's finish this off. Before I undertake it, I don't know if I've just read that. No, okay. If you are just beginning to open yourself to intuitive and spiritual communication, automatic writing can act as a bridge to strengthen your mind and intuitive channel. Before undertaking such a skill, you are encouraged to keep a clear and sacred space, free of lower thought forms and energies that may cling or seek to enter an open channel door. Seek a suitable teacher. Currently, soul guidance is required. You are being asked to connect to the higher wisdom of your soul. Removing ego-based barriers such as expectations, internal ridicule, fear and control are necessary for clarity and peace of mind. I'm spitting everywhere now. Feelings of being physically, mentally or energetically blocked or stuck in areas of your life such as employment and relationships requires action, but you must be ready to let go of your expectations. Creating a peaceful environment to free your mind is essential now. Allowing your pen or pencil to wander on a sketch pad, forming doodles or symbols, or painting or musical creation will assist in writing issues such as writer's block. With relaxed breath, oh man, the shoulders are intense. With relaxed breath, let your thoughts inspire you to create or record new information as your inner thoughts and spiritual messages are conveyed to you to record in written word. Working with high vibrations or elevated energy levels will improve this communication and length of spiritual discussion. Shadow aspect, ignoring your own advice, inability to be objective. The angel assistance is guardian angel Harahel. Educational success, writing, productivity. And the affirmation, my mind is open. I receive my soul's guidance loud and clear. Okay, I'll catch up with you guys soon, yeah? So until then, take care. Think and grow, bitch. Okay, much love. Bye for now.